You know that I'm a strong advocate of creativity. But maybe you've tried and maybe you've failed. What are you doing wrong? Well, I've got 8 ideas. So stand by and we'll be right back right after the open. You're trying to be creative, but you're apparently doing something wrong because the ideas you're coming up with, they're either not very good or there just aren't very many of them. So, what are you doing wrong? Well, I have some ideas. First off, the big mistake that most people make is editing too early. They have an idea and then they immediately switch into editing mode. And when you're in editing mode, you say, oh, I can't do that because, or that wouldn't work because, and you come up with a good reason in your mind not to do it. But the thing is, the part of your brain that creates is a different part than the part of your brain that comes up with rational reasons why it won't work. So switching back and forth really gets you out of the flow of creativity. So what you really need to do is you really need to ignore the things in your brain that say that you can't do that. You need to postpone your editing until you're done coming up with the good ideas. Number 2, not having enough ideas. You need to come up with a huge number of ideas, and most of them need to be bad. Now, that might be something that is surprising to you, that most ideas need to be bad, but what I mean is you need to come up with such a large number of ideas that some of them are bound to be good, not the other way around, not where you only come up with the good ideas. Because bad ideas sometimes lead to other ideas, and those ideas might lead to still a third set of ideas, which might lead to a fourth. And maybe, just maybe, the fourth set of ideas are brilliant, where the first were, not so good. So it's possible that the problem is that you're just quitting too early. That you need to come up with all kinds of ideas, most of them bad, to get to those couple of jewels that are incredible. Third, a big mistake that I see is falling in love with your ideas. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't good ideas, that you can't have good ideas at the start, but I want you to push through. If you have a brilliant idea, an idea that no one else has had an idea this good before, it's just phenomenal. If you have an idea like that, I want you to put it over to the side and keep going. Don't let yourself think, well, I've already got this good idea, so I don't have to worry about any of these subsequent ideas. You don't know that. It could be that your good idea is just a precursor to an even better idea. Now, it could be that your great idea is one that you'll actually end up doing, but you don't know that yet. So I don't want you to fall in love with it and think that it's perfect when it may or may not be. So really keep going and don't just fall in love with the first few ideas that you have. Number 4, don't think that you're not creative. People that think that they're not creative are usually just people that go into editing mode too early. So it's not that you're not creative, it's that you talk yourself out of your creative ideas. So I want you to suspend that thought that you're not creative, and I want you to just come up with ideas. Number 5, not having a file of ideas. This is something that I'm a huge fan of. Anytime I see something, I make a note of it, because I don't know when I will need that something. The opening graphic for the creating church idea, the creating church show, all those were built off of something that I saw someone else do, and I did something kind of in the same genre of it because I liked what they did. So I created something totally different, but based on that idea. So that's one example. I don't normally watch the television show Bones. Last night, though, I was just trying to kill a little time while my daughters were taking a shower, and because I want to be available should there be a problem. One of them's 7, the other's 12, so sometimes there are problems, and there was. But all that to say, so I'm watching this television show, and I'm watching the open, and it really touched something inside me. Not the meaning behind it, but the art of it. So that's another thing that's going into my file of creative ideas. Something that maybe I'll draw on later. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But having that file can refresh some ideas for you. 6, you can make the mistake of not taking enough time to do it right. Creativity takes time. You can't have a general idea of what you need to be creative about on Sunday morning and pull it off by 9:30, 11:30, 10:45, whenever your church service is. You need time to come up with a large amount of ideas, edit those down to the good ideas, and then actually implement the ideas. So creativity takes time. So make sure that you have plenty of time to do it. I'd say at least 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month or more, so that you can just really ruminate on ideas and come up with a good amount of them. Number 7, being afraid to even try. Now I do see this. I see people that say, yeah, we can't be creative because, or what's the point? People don't come to church nowadays. What they're actually saying is, I'm really afraid that my ideas aren't good enough, or I'm afraid that I won't touch people on a deep level. And that's really not something you should worry about. Remember, it says that God hasn't given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but power, love, and self-control or self-discipline or sound mind, depending on your translation. That's in 2 Timothy, I believe. And so whenever you're feeling fear, unless it's fear to do something you know is absolutely harmful in all situations, whenever you're feeling fear, it's usually the enemy trying to steal away from you, trying to prevent you from doing something, because God hasn't given us a spirit of fear. Do you see? So go forward in courage. Remember, courage isn't not having fear. Courage is having fear and doing what you need to do anyway. So have some courage. Number 8, and finally, the big mistake that I see a huge number of churches doing is they let the devil's advocate participate. No, useless, absolutely useless. This person should not be involved whatsoever. I don't care who they are, how long they've been a part of the church. The devil does not need an advocate. Do not give them a voice in your meeting, because they will do what we talked about in number 1. They will edit. They will edit too early. They'll find a reason why not, and they will do number 7. They will engender fear in other people because they have a very good reason why you can't. You don't need any good reasons why you can't. You need encouragement and hope. So don't let the devil's advocate have a seat at that table. They just don't need to have a place there. It's absolutely useless if they do. So, I hope you'll take all 8 of these ideas. Number 1, don't edit too early. Number 2, have enough ideas. Number 3, don't fall in love with your ideas. Number 4, don't believe that you're not creative. Number 5, keep a file of ideas. Number 6, take the time to do it right. Number 7, have courage so that you can even try to be creative. And number 8, remember, exclude the devil's advocate. If you don't do the mistakes and you do the positive versions, then I think you'll go out and change eternity. Until next time, I'm Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.